Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your breakfast bankroll for Friday, June 10th, 2022. Yes, the weekend is here. Yes, the Celtics, Golden State Game 4. Yes, the Yukon Huskies will face Stanford, win 2 games in the Super Regionals, and head to Omaha. So we will just finished the show with our producer, good friend, Kiefer Bagwell. We broke down the Super Regionals, threw out a couple futures, couple lanes about what we thought would happen this weekend. And hopefully you will see those at some point this weekend, and hopefully we will cash a few tickets there. Unfortunately, my co-host is the perfect co-host to have this morning. And yes, I am still seething, and he got to witness this. So I can't wait to hear what he saw from the South Side yesterday. ECSI VIPs, we had 2 games in the afternoon. We had the White Sox plus 103, 105, 108, whatever you got. First 5. They scratch out 4 runs. In the bottom of the 4th, in comes the 5th, top of the 5th. Lead guy gets on, strikeout. Next guy should have been a double play. 2 guys on, error. Then the shit show. Double. The middle to the bottom of the order get on, allows the top of the order to come. Double. And the brainiac called Tony La Russa, after a wild pitch, now second and third, 4-3. You're still leading. 1-2 count on Trey Turner. What does he do? Let's walk Trey Turner on a 1-2 count. Max is in the on-deck circle, seething. You want to walk me? You want to walk Trey to get to me? 1-2 count? All right. I think 2-3 pitches later, thanks for playing. 6-4. And then, of course, the White Sox scratch out 1 run in the bottom of the 5th just to kick me harder. And then the Giants, full game minus a run and a half, up 2-0, 4 errors. We're not even till the All-Star break in the dog days of summer, and these guys are kicking the ball around like it's soccer, or you guys say football. So let's bring him in. Let's get his view on what happened in the South Side, and how the hell is Tony La Russa still employed? Oh, and by the way, since Joe has left the building, the Phillies are 6-0. The only Mr. Riley. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Morning, my friend. I knew I was going to relive the events of yesterday, but I didn't know I would be doing it in such pristine detail on your behalf. So I appreciate you for walking me back step by step of yesterday's accounts. But yeah, from the stadium, it was not much better than what you saw on Twitter. It took a minute, honestly, at the stadium for everyone to kind of. It was so out of nowhere that everyone was kind of like, wait, I'm sorry, what's happening right now? What exactly is happening right now? And then everyone in the stadium knew exactly what was about to happen next with Max Muncy up on deck. You said it yourself. And I mean, the amount of people that left the stadium after that inning, including myself for the most part, I think I stayed for another half inning because the Sox had the top of the order or something like that. But it was brutal. I don't know how Tony La Russa is still employed, other than the fact that he's best buddies with our chairman and owner, Jerry Reinsdorf. That would be my only explanation to you. But if your 2022 MLB bingo card has a manager intentionally walking a guy on a 1-2 count, and a pitcher giving up 6 unearned runs while 0 earned runs somehow, if you've got both of those on your bingo card, you're in pretty good shape for the rest of picking up that bingo as far as the weird baseball shit happening bingo card for the MLB season. But nonetheless, I don't know how to soar over what happened to your ticket on the loss yesterday, because it was rough. And as far as my optimism for the season is concerned, with Tony La Russa at the helm, it's not good, but we do have the easiest schedule in baseball going forward. So that is at least the silver lining as far as the AL Central is concerned. But aside from that, with Tony La Russa at the helm with what we're doing right now, it's not looking good. Yesterday wasn't so much the case, but we keep surrounding our three hitters that are actually doing anything with guys that are hitting under 200, under the Mendoza line, OBP under 200, and it's good hitter under 200 OBP, good hitter Jose Abreu under 200 OBP, and back and forth sometimes, and it's maddening. And you don't win a lot of games like that. And when a pitcher goes 0 earned runs, you expect to be in the win column, but obviously that's not the case. So we'll look forward to an easier schedule, but I don't know how Tony La Russa is still employed, especially after doubling down when the entire league and entire MLB universe is laughing at us yesterday, and he doubles down on it and almost flabbergasted that people are laughing at him in the first place. So to answer that, I don't know how he is still employed. I don't know. Unless they go through this easier stretch and continue to do this type of stuff, I don't know if that's what you should expect or not. But unless that happens, I don't think he's going to get canned. I really don't. So, I'm buckling down. I'm holding out to some optimism as far as the AL Central is concerned. But that's about it right now, my friend.
I listened to the press conference. I thought I was honestly listening to Bill Belichick. And he's put on that dog and pony show for 2 decades plus, and he just mumbles, and he looks at you when you ask a real question, like, how dare you ask me a real question?
Right.
And then Tony looks at him, he goes, you are serious, right? You do know the stats that Trey Turner is batting .258 with 2 strikes. I don't care if you throw 3 goddamn balls in the fucking dirt. Excuse my French. Sorry.
And if you don't have enough trust in your pitcher to do that, then that pitcher shouldn't be on your roster. Period. And this pitcher's not a very strong pitcher by any means. But like I said, if you don't have enough trust to pitch around a guy, completely pitch around him, on a 5, even if it's a 5% chance that Trey Turner, who's obviously a good hitter, and it's not likely that he swings at something in the dirt, but it's better than walking a guy with 1 and 2, and giving that incentive to Max Muncy, like, oh, you're doing that for me right now? Like, that type of bells don't ring off a guy when they pitch around him as opposed to intentionally pitch him, and not every single time, at least not to the same degree. You know what I mean? So it was infuriating. We like I said, we didn't stay long after that. A lot of the stadium didn't stay long after that. So if that wasn't a message as far as Sox fans being fed up with it, then I don't know what will be.
Unfortunately, in between shows this morning, I was up early this morning, and good morning, Cole. Yes, we did get rinsed last night. Yes, the Giants and the Sox killed me. Oh my God, did they kill me? It's been one of those weeks with the VIPs. We have now lost 5 games this week on pass balls or errors, and games that we had won. And it's infuriating. But what I heard this morning, for any fan of the South Side, I cringe because you brought up Reinsdorf. And I guess he let La Russa go once in his life. He said he'd never do it again. And the beat writer for Chicago White Sox says there's absolutely no chance, 0 chance, La Russa's getting fired. 0.
And like I said, unless they're excruciatingly bad through this easy stretch, because it's a lot easier. Like I said, it was even going into the Dodgers series. At that point, they had the easiest by win percentage schedule in baseball. Obviously, you get through the Dodgers, and that becomes exceedingly easier, obviously. So unless they're excruciatingly bad here the next month or so, which they've been good enough to be treading water. So like I said, I don't expect that to happen. And like you said, I don't think it's going to happen. So like I said, still optimistic for the AL Central because the Twins are kind of free falling. And like I said, with our easy schedule, I think we'll catch them for the AL Central. But it might be an 88-win campaign for an AL Central win, which is never really, obviously you can hang a banner, but that's never really anything to pat yourself on the back too hard about as far as an 88-win season to win a division.
I'm high above courtside right now. Tip off around 9:15 my time. The barricades are up in front of the Sagamore and Bourne Bridge. They're looking for me. I am not allowed in the Garden. With that said, Celtics up 2-1. Everyone wondering about Steph and his ankle. Celtics opened up 3-point favorites, which is a lie. They actually opened up 3.5-point favorites, now 4. And under over 215 and a hook, now down to 214.5. I do see a 214 at the Nugget. Celtics off a loss, uh, undefeated in the playoffs.
Mhm.
Celtics in this spot to step on someone's neck, it hasn't happened. Now, if you watch the series closely, the Celtics obviously more aggressive, more athletic, the better team just on the eye test. Golden State has shined in the third quarter of all three games. They have the three rings, quote unquote, they have the experience. But what I don't think the Celtics are getting enough credit is we're into the finals now. So you got to take an Al Horford, who is a seasoned veteran. You add the two kids with Jalen and Tatum now. They got a full year of experience to this point. They've been to Eastern Conference Finals. Give me your thought outside. You're a Bulls fan. You grew up with the greatest player of all time. It's Michael Jordan. It's not LeBron, guys. It's Michael Jordan. Larry Bird a close second for another show. But what do you see tonight? What are you hearing from the Windy City on this game and on this series?
Yeah, I kind of echo a lot of what you said as far as I think by the eye test, I mean, through three games, obviously they're up 2-1, but by the eye test, I would agree with you that the Celtics have looked like a better team. Definitely more athletic. I think we're going to see a better defensive performance from the Warriors tonight, regardless of what we see from Steph. I think we've heard that he's definitely trying to go tonight. So I don't know what we see from him offensively. I'm not by no means am I a person that's in the company of the NFL or excuse me the NBA rigged company. That's not where I'm at by any means. But as we've seen throughout these playoffs in the last handful of years and throughout a lot of history, when we're at a 2-1 series and the public is captivated by it, typically the team that's down 2-1 gets at least a little bit of a skewed, or the calls kind of lean towards them a little bit. And obviously it just depends if that team is good enough to take advantage of those calls, which I think we kind of saw in game 2 a little bit with a little bit with Draymond Green and whatnot. And I think that's what we'll get it here again tonight. He's probably going to be pretty aggressive defensively. And so I kind of lean the series tilting back to 2-2 with still an edge for Boston in the series. Maybe I'm kind of flipping that on that a little bit as we go in the series as far as the full 7 games is concerned. I do think it's going to be a close one here tonight. I think it's going to be a lower scoring. I'm kind of leaning under. I think it goes under 214, kind of going a little back and forth. We see at least somebody put up a pretty hell-bet defensive performance from one of these teams. I think it's the Warriors, but it wouldn't shock me if the Celtics put up a really, really nice defensive performance, maybe both ways here. So that's kind of where I'm leaning. I think, it was really intriguing if you're interested in the Warriors, just in any capacity, obviously to see Klay Thompson heating up there. I think that's going to continue here. Maybe not every single game here throughout 6-7 games, but I do think it's going to be a higher percentage than what we saw the first couple of games. So I think, is that enough to shoulder the load offensively, though? I don't know. I think Jordan Poole, who wasn't very good in game 3, is really going to have to step up here again tonight in game 4, especially, obviously, if Steph isn't 100%. You got to have some more production behind him, obviously. So that's kind of where my heart is lying. I'm leaning towards the Warriors, but it would not shock me whatsoever if Boston just looks like the clear better team tonight and does kind of step on their throats. But as you mentioned, it hasn't quite happened yet this postseason. So that's kind of where it's leading me to believe that the Warriors get one back here tonight, heading into Game 5 even. So not super strong thoughts, but that's where my head is lying at here this morning.
Well, you talked about getting the calls or a little more favoritism towards Golden State. A big factor was Steph got a couple quickies and he's got 3 in the second quarter. That kind of slows that train down. Then he gets the rolled ankle. I just pulled up the Circa app. You can currently get the Warriors plus 195 in the series. The Celtics now minus 225. So any backers of the Golden State Warriors, let me just give you a little food for thought here. If you like the Warriors tonight, you might want to jump on them plus the 195. The Celtics, off of a loss, have been undefeated. You can go back and then grab the Celtics at good plus money or even money going into Game 5 of this series with a Golden State ticket of a plus 195 there. That's one way that we can look at it there. Always, all you listeners, remember, it's Friday. It's Fade the Public Friday. it is payday for 99% of the general public. So they love to. Let me just give you the quick story. Very simply, it's payday, and they call up the wife and say, "Hey, hon, I'm going to go run get us some pizza," and they're actually running to the casino or their local sports bar or whatever. They order the pizza at 7:30. Meanwhile, they got the early games going, and then around 10 o'clock, they're losing because the favorites and the overs aren't coming in, so they double down at the West Coast games, and then around 10:30, quarter of 11, the wife checks in. "Hey, hon, how's that pizza coming?" "Oh shit, that's right." They run home. They either bring the cold pizza or they leave the cold pizza on the oven.
Yeah, it's rough, and I that's I think we're gonna see that. I don't know if we'll have anything to pick off as far as the spread is concerned. Maybe we will tonight, but that's that's kind of where I'm headed with. On top of what I think the game's gonna go, that's kind of where I was leaning with a little under. I think a lot of people are gonna be on an over, maybe in some capacity, whether that's Boston putting up a ton of points or if you're a Warriors backer, you think the Warriors are gonna go nuclear and put up 120. You're gonna think the over is going over as well. So that's where my heart line is lying so far. I'm not sure. We'll see where things are tracking as far as the over under throughout the day. But yeah, I've got a handful of thoughts on some Fade the Public for baseball. So if that's where you want to head next, I am ready to rock, my friend.
Yes, no Northside Day baseball for Friday. Everyone's got to sit back and wait. We got a full slate tonight. The card is yours. Let it go.
Alrighty. One of those, as far as Fade the Public, or at least potential Fade the Public, Arizona Philly. I am seeing about 80%-ish money on the Phillies in this one. Is this, however, obviously the Phillies are streaking right now. About minus 135, 140, 145 I'm seeing. Zach Gallen versus Kyle Gibson. Gallen's been solid. He's actually been better on the road, 2.11 ERA on the road so far this season. And you and I talked about with a couple of our teams on the East Coast or Midwest heading west that it's been that it's typically a tough trip for the team traveling. Obviously, Arizona actually traveling to Philly. We don't bring these trends all the time, but 12-5 last 17 in Philadelphia for the Diamondbacks. That was pretty surprising to me to see. And so again, you've got 80-ish% of money on the Phillies on the streak at a pretty reasonable line. Is this the end of the line for the Phillies, or do they keep it rolling here and slap me in the face here this morning?
If I wasn't at the wedding, and I was actually at this wedding when Joe was fired, I was on the Phillies last Friday, and they did win. They won Saturday, and miraculously on Sunday, grand slam in the 8th, walk-off 3-run homer in the 9th, and the rest has been history. They were a good play for us the first game against the Brewers. Then they ran up against the Iron, and they stole the last two. One of the games, back-to-back homers against Hader, who was 31 for 31 in his last 31 chances to close the game. The number to me smells to holy heaven. Opened up at 123 overnight at Circa. It's now at 137. Obviously, Vegas has made a stance on Arizona today. They says, hey, we'll make it 123 overnight, and the public's just going to crush this. I'm not going to jump full throttle in front of the train, but I love where your eyes are, and I do respect, and I will probably today lean Arizona first 5 against Gibson.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask if you're liking the Diamondbacks deal, like first 5 more or the money line. And actually, at least on FanDuel here, I don't think this is the best price. My action tracker had a higher number for the first 5. Arizona first 5 about plus 100, full game plus 122. So you might be spot on with liking the first 5 a little bit more there. That's where I was going to ask you next. So I kind of agree with you. Zach Gallen has been real solid. I do think Kyle Gibson got beat. If I'm not wrong, I think he got beat up in his last time out. So maybe one more rough start before we see some positive regression out of him. Next one, I wanted to ask you if you saw any value out of this one, because I don't like this one quite too much at all. Milwaukee and the Nationals. Milwaukee's kind of free-falling right now. Kind of a hefty favorite. Nationals, weird team. Very bad, but very weird, and they can put up some they have like a 2-3 game spurt every once in a while where they go double-digit runs, it seems like, and then they're in the tank for the next 5 games. Any value out of this one, or are you staying far away from this one?
Well, I think the Brewers, as you said, free falling, are not a happy campers after what the Phillies had done to them. I'm not a big Fedde fan. Scott Webb has talked about how bad Fedde has has flashes of, but he's also one of those guys when you go against, he turns into Cy Fetty.
Yeah.
I here would think that Milwaukee would be the side there. It opened up at 158 overnight, now 172. Obviously, too hefty of a price. It's an over-under that opened at 8.5, still at 8.5 now. It's juiced under. If you wanted to get into this game, the only thing that I could suggest if you were going to take the Brewers was take them on the run line. You probably get them close to even, maybe a plus 105, 108 or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like minus 110, 105. I think you're right on that one. But yeah, I'm steering clear of that one. Next one up, another interesting one here, Toronto and Detroit. Barrios versus Erod, not your Erod, as you usually mention, the former Red Sox. But speaking of Erod, 11 hits, 10 runs, 4 home runs allowed last time out, 10 ERA on the season. To me, the general public is going to see this, at least think, and their eyes are going to light up. Is this the layup of the day for Toronto, or is this the biggest trap of the day? What's more likely, layup or trap?
Well, again, Barrios is one of those guys. You don't know which Barrios you're going to get, and I think he was rock solid his last start. Now they come into Detroit, which is supposed to be a layup. If you think you're going to get the bad Barrios in the trap, I think the easiest play in this game would to take the over 9, because if you got bad Barrios versus the other Erod, I think they could cover that total probably within the first 3 or 4 innings. As everyone here knows, I am not a total guy. I don't have Biff's Almanac. I could have Alabama versus Citadel with an under-over of 38, and I wouldn't get there. So, to me, obviously, the public, this will be a huge public side. It will be Toronto money line in parlays. It will be Toronto minus the hook first 5. It will be Toronto minus a 1.5 full game. The only way, if I was going to get my toes in there, is I would take the overnight.
I like it. It's if anything, it's an entertainment over. I'm not. Yeah, it's something's weird here on a Friday. It seems way too good to be true as far as the Blue Jays, and as far as I'm not taking the Tigers, but they're, at least we talked about them a little bit last week. They beat up on the Twins, had a rough outing against the Yankees, and then they just bounced back with 2 straight against the Pirates. So they're at least playing better baseball than they had been through April and May for the most part. Not saying they're a good team at this point, but they're at least playing better. So they're not this pushover team that they had been throughout April and May is all I would say on that one, to give some more caution as far as the Blue Jays are concerned.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, and then moving on here, I didn't have another one that I was going to ask. Again, we're not total baseball guys. I'm admittedly not a total guy in baseball either, but Baltimore and KC, would you go entertainment over, pizza and beer money over on this one if you had to do anything? 9.5. Zimmerman and Heasley's last 3 starts for the Royals, all 3. He hasn't been terrible. He's been getting hit, but not a ton of runs, so it leads me to believe he's going to be hit, and actually Baltimore's going to play some runs. That's where my head is at. Last 3 starts finished in double-digit totals of runs scored between the 2 teams. Zimmer, 3 of the last 4, same situation. 10 hits to Cleveland last time out for him. VSiN tracker, I was looking, VSiN's DraftKings tracker for bets and money, 50-50 on bets over under, but a 75% money handle on the over in this one. Again, we're not totals guy, but do you think the trend continues on this one with another double-digit total run for these guys, or we're going to see some positive regression from either of these 2 here?
I'm showing a 51-49 split on tickets, 50-50 on the under-over. Opened up at 9.5, juiced under minus 115. It's sticking and staying. I do have a 9.5 over at FanDuel and FanDuel, not on DraftKings. They're okay on the under. This will probably, outside looking in, you would expect 2 teams, 2 middling teams at that. I always call them the pesky Orioles. They have that, I don't know, fire in their belly when they want to come in there hitting. I don't have faith in either starting pitcher. And so one of these games that I do go into that as an overplay, it will be 1-1 top of the 9th.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm staying away. I was at least curious if that's where your head was at either. But these guys are too weird for me, so I'm staying out of them as well. Cincinnati and St. Louis. I don't have strong thoughts on this one. Do you have any insights on what you expect from Cincinnati's offense today? Palante, however you want to say it, he's a rookie. I think last time out, career high, season high, 4 innings pitched. So before that, he had been, 3 or less typically. I think St. Louis should be able to hit up Castellano, or excuse me, I'm all over the place here. St. Louis should be able to hit Castillo for a few runs here, in my opinion. Some of their bigger bats for St. Louis have had some decent success against Castillo, so that's where my head was at with that one. Any insights on what you think from Cincinnati's bats in this one?
Since he's been playing okay, I mean, let me actually go over to this screen here. Let's shut this down for everyone. I always pull you up here for the math wizard here. Let me get out of college baseball for a second. Cincinnati starts 2-23, now 20-37. So 2-20, so that's 18 and 15 their last 33. St. Louis bats have been cold as ice. Castillo is, I think, now probably his 6th or 7th start. Has been pretty good and pretty dominant of late. Obviously, I value-wise, and I hate to use that word, St. Louis opened up minus 126, now up to 138. I would say on paper, outside looking in, you give the early edge to Cincinnati and Castillo, then the back-end edge to St. Louis. I'm kind of neutral in this. I think, let me look at some public numbers. All tickets, 80% of the tickets, 98% of the money currently on St. Louis. I will stay away. I think it's a good spot for St. Louis. I like where your eyes are. I just, obviously, on a Friday, especially with that kind of ticket count, we'll be tracking it all afternoon. But that's a red flag right now for me.
Yeah. No, I like what you said about the first 5 in the full game. Full game, Cincinnati plus 116 on FanDuel. First 5, actually, they've got a minus 102. So a big difference on that one as well. So I'm interested. You got me interested in the first 5 a little bit on that one. Next one, potentially, now I'm asking if this is one of the bigger traps of the evening. The formerly 14-game losing streak Angels now get the win in the win column yesterday. Plus 105 at home tonight for the New York Mets. Is this a giant public trap tonight, or the Angels get back on the schneid and start a new losing streak here?
Okay, everyone listening, grab your pens and paper. Okay, when you have a long losing streak and you finally break it, you generally win the next game as well. Okay, when you have a long winning streak and finally lose, you generally lose the next one. So McGill's coming off the IL, if I'm not mistaken. The Angels are to be determined. I don't have his stats in front of me. LOL. Haha. Funny. Unless you
actually, I've got Diaz is who I see as the starter on a couple spots. Have Diaz listed as a starter.
Okay, so that means basically a bullpen game for the Angels, which we know is not good. Here's the funny. The Mets only opened up at 120, now 124. The only play here is the Angels in my eyes.
I'm with you, 100% with you. This one seems like, not only obviously that you see the general public on it's Fade the Public Friday. You're going to see the Mets. You're going to see the Mets record on your app that you're trying to play, and then you're going to know that the Angels just got off a 14-game losing streak, and already we're seeing 80% of bets and money or so that I've seen here. On the Mets, I'm seeing 92% of money actually on the Mets here. So I'm 100% with you on this one. Definitely one of the ones I'm more intrigued in. Moving on to your neck of the woods over there. Well, I guess they're not playing in your neck of the woods. We talked about the Red Sox last week as far as a lot of teams going to the West Coast have some struggles. They are 6-1 on this West Coast swing. Above 500 are the Boston Red Sox. Last leg now in Seattle for this road trip. Rich Hill, Marco Gonzalez. I'm not a huge fan of either of these guys. Any thoughts on this one from your eyes as far as in Seattle?
I am not a Marco fan. I've been egg on my face all year about Rich Hill. I've been waiting for regression with him, Pivetta, and Walker. Sox just won 7 in a row, just lost. The only play that I could play here, if I was to play, is to back Seattle in the short dog.
Okay. Interesting. What I was gonna say, maybe a little Seattle in the over. Seattle, I'm not in love with the over, but Seattle's 30 top 7 team to overs at home, 30, 26 and 1 to overs at home. 8.5 spot there. I'm just like you said, Rich Hill. You've had egg on your face. I'm not a huge Rich Hill fan. I might. This is a later one, so if I've got nothing going on tonight, this might be a little entertainment. Mariners in the over for me on this one.
I
And
agree.
then, and then I had one more, and I'll kick it back to you as far as any that we might have missed. Dodgers in San Francisco. Dodgers laying about minus 150, 150 on the road here. Is that screaming Walker Buehler bounce back to you, or are you seeing something else there?
Absolutely 100% Walker Buehler bounce back. Opened up at 140, now 142 at our friends at Circa. Junis has had flashes from Kansas City, now San Fran. Ticket count 55% of the bets coming in on the Dodgers, 62% of the money. Now, this money is a 62-38 splits, always been a good spot for us to take the dog. As our buddy Cole says, we got crushed by the Giants yesterday. Just 2-0 lead, 4 errors later, 4-2, and they just folded the tent. Tough to go back. I hate to take a team one day and go against them the next day
Yeah.
because they get us. And of course, the Dodgers also got us yesterday in the first 5.
Right.
I will not be touching this game, but you're supposed to expect a Bueller bounce back. So a Dodger first 5 minus the hook, a Dodger full game minus 2. You know what? The only play I would suggest here is the Dodgers minus the hook first 5.
I feel like they might have some weird momentum after it almost. I don't know if stealing a game yesterday seems like the right word, but the vibe of that game was all White Sox until that 2-inning stretch, and then they obviously put up 10 runs in 2 innings. So they might be. I kind of agree with you. I think they're going to start out maybe early and fade a little bit later in this one. So I think I'm with you. If anything, I'm going first 5 minus a half. So that was all that I had written down. Anything that I missed that you were interested in mentioning?
Colorado, San Diego, Musgrove has been pitching very well. Cool is actually one of the better Colorado pitchers, if I can evenly say that with a smile. Blackburn is just Oakland can't score. Blackburn is struggling. Sticks McKenzie opened at 163, still at 163. It's a game that you don't expect a lot of runs. That will be a 5-5 probably in the 5th. I would lean Cleveland minus the hook first 5 there. Tampa Bay, Minnesota, Rasmussen and Smeltzer. I'm not a fan of either pitchers. Surprisingly, Minnesota minus 110 here. Minnesota, big lead. They crushed Cole yesterday, and then in come the Yankees doing what they do best from downtown to get that one. But I respect the opening number with Minnesota, a short favorite there. Yankees back home flexing their chest after another comeback win. Yankees right now are 41-16, 25 games over 500. Severino versus Miley, a game that opened up minus 242, now down to 226. No field there. Interesting game in Houston. Lopez has been amazing. He hasn't been Alcantara amazing the last month, but he's right there against Garcia. Astros opened up at 154, now 148. I'm just going to say, since the closed door meeting on Monday, I think the Marlins haven't lost either. A lot of meat on that bone where you can be grabbing plus 135 on Miami there. Every time you go against Houston, they smack you right in the new, you know what. Yeah. They definitely have the pitching edge here. It's sneaky. I think if you follow gambling Twitter today, I bet you the Marlins will be the public trendy dog today.
Okay. That's kind of what I was going to ask you, because I don't know what the general perception of this Marlins team is, if I'm being totally honest. And I know as far as the general public, maybe not the betting Twitter public, but I would say the general public is probably liking the Astros. But I like what you're saying as far as this kind of looking like a betting Twitter type of play in the Marlins. So normally, yeah, I like Pablo Lopez as well. But yeah, something stinks out of this one, so I'm going to stay out of this one for me.
Last night, the Lightning come from downtown to not just tie the game, but to win the game. They are now up 3-2. Comfortably all set to face the Avs. Obviously, they got to take care of business tomorrow on home ice. I will say it for you. You always say you're not the hockey guy, but outside looking in, is the series over? Or the Rangers was in the spot against Carolina. They won game 6 at home, won game 7 at Carolina. They have to do it opposite. After being up 2-0, the Lightning have now won 3 in a row. Is the series over?
Yeah, like you mentioned it for me. I think it is. They did do it to Carolina, but when now you've got a team that's got that, two-time reigning championship pedigree that have been in spots like these and know how to put the foot down on the throat. I think it is the 2 goals, 1 goal in these last 3 losses here for the Rangers. I think we probably see a similar trend here going into game 6, obviously 3-2 here for the Lightning. So yeah, I don't have a ton of thoughts, but that would be where my head is leaning as far as the Lightning probably stepping on the throats. I think that one is tomorrow night, right? Yeah, they actually do a pretty true to the every other day. So yeah, that's where my heart is. I think the Lightning probably do it pretty convincingly tomorrow, in my opinion.
All right, and I'm going to close with the Golden State and the Celtics. Again, the opening under-over was 215.5. I'm trying to do some quick math here for everyone here. Basically, Vegas is giving you that 110, 106 basically is what they're telling you tonight. It's a tough call because I'll probably be the one that says I wouldn't be shocked if Celtics win and cover tonight, lose game 5, and the Warriors come in and steal game 6, and then there is a game 7. I said this all along. If you were going to bet this series, the obvious was Celtics in 6 or the Warriors in 7. The Celtics have played better on the road. They have played better after a loss. I stated when we started this show, when they're in this spot and have a chance to step on someone's throat, they haven't.
Right.
Closing thoughts for you. Gun to your head. Who wins tonight?
Gun to my head, I've kind of flipped a little bit on the series in general. Gun to my head, I'm going Warriors tonight, and then I think in a spot where they are fantastic going to bounce back, I think the Celtics might win on the road in Game 5 and have a chance to step on the throat in Game 6 and get it done at home in Game 6. That's kind of where I'm starting to lead towards Celtics in 6 in this one at home, and because I think the NBA is desperate to get at least 6 games out of this one, if not 7, like you said. On maybe the Celtics get this one, and then it goes Warriors. But where my heart is lying, I'm going Warriors tonight. I think they'll get a few more calls than the Celtics tonight. I think Draymond Green's going to be a pest, and it's going to be real pesky, and it's going to be pissing off a lot of people, and it's probably going to work for him, in my opinion. So interested to see what we see out of Steph offensively. That's probably the biggest question mark for anybody. But I do expect Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole and maybe somebody else to step up and shoulder the load offensively if Steph can't do it. So that's where I'm at. I'm going Warriors tonight, and then Celtics games 5 and 6 to finish them off in 6. And I'll say under tonight as far as the total is concerned as well. A little defensive showing. I'll say 99-96 Warriors tonight.
Does the NBA have the balls to give the MVP to Brown, or is this going to be Tatum?
I'll say Tatum. I mean, unless I think it's still an open book, I guess is where we're at. But I'll say Tatum gets the MVP if the Celtics get it.
You heard it from Riley. I am Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest. This is obviously the one and only Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one. We can't thank everyone for watching and listening this morning. Without you guys, there is no ECSI. Anyone that has not subscribed yet, just went over to YouTube to East Coast Sports Investors. Just hit the subscribe button. It's free. And then smash the like button. And if you're a Twitch account, you can also go over to East Coast Sports Investors on Twitch and follow us there. We're going to be doing some live stream and hopefully real soon. So with that said, if you are wagering, investing today, please do it responsibly. If you do have a problem, pick up the phone. There is an 800 number. Ask for help. Why? Myself and Riley care. We want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. And Mr. Cole, yes, you too. You have a great day. Let's recoup some of that Giant and White Sox money. I think I'm going to send an invoice to Tony LaRussa. See if he'll pick up our tabs for yesterday. I think he owes that to us. So.
Yeah, him or Reinsdorf. I put it on Reinsdorf more these days,
2:30 p.m., the one and only Dan Alexander at Newbie Talks. We'll be talking Premier Lacrosse. And then around 6 o'clock, myself and Scotty Webb will be doing the closing bell. We'll get you close to the pay window, and we'll get some final thoughts on where these numbers are going. There's no day baseball, so there's no reason to run to the window. Let these simmer. Cole wants to be included in that invoice, too. They owe me. Absolutely.
Hey, as long as you're not blaming me, that's all I care about.
Thank God for that 14-1 shot on the Lightning 4-1 call.
Shout out.
Maybe I can pull another rabbit out of a hat later.
Hey, 99-96. That was my. Maybe I've got the juice this time around. Who knows?
Everyone, thank you so much. We'll see everyone back at 2:30. Have a good day. Enjoy lunch, brunch. Grab a coffee, grab some lunch, and we'll see you in a couple hours.